and welcome to my channel, Crafting with Shuttermonkey. I'm Amanda, also known as Shuttermonkey, and I live in Ayrshire on the west coast of Scotland. Today is Tuesday the 19th of November, and this is episode number 51. It's been about 3 weeks since I last recorded an episode, so I've got a few new cast-ons to show you today. So let's just jump right into the knitting section, okay? And I have an almost finished project to show you. I'm stalling on it a wee bit because I'm scared of the next part that I need to do. But this is the Lanark sweater by the Crea Bear. And it's done. I've completed all the knitted parts and I'm trying to see which sleeve I blocked. This sleeve has been blocked and I think I overblocked it a wee bit. I stretched it out too much at the armhole, and this one is unblocked and this one fits better at the armhole. And I've blocked all the body. I've even got the little bit right down here, the wee flap where the zip will go in, and that's the next stage, is to put the zip in. I don't know if you will notice it, but I did run out of yarn. I managed to find an extra ball on eBay and I used that for the inside flap, because you're not going to see that. Once the zip's encased in there, it'll be fine. You won't really see that back bit, but it is a slightly different shade. Although it's the same wool and it's the same colour number, it's a different dye lot, but you won't notice it on that back section once the zip's in. So it's all been blocked, apart from that one sleeve, and I haven't blocked the bottom ribbon. I did add a wee bit extra length to the body before I finished the ribbed portion at the bottom. And it feels silly saying there's a ribbed portion at the bottom because it's all fisherman's rib. Sorry, half fisherman's rib. But there is still a 1x1 rib along the bottom. And I haven't blocked that yet, so it does look like it's quite tight in at the bottom, but that would stretch out a wee bit. But what I am going to do with it now, I've taken a measurement, what length is it that I need, and I'm going to wash it and block it again. Although I've been blocking it all as I go, I've been steam blocking, and I think I did overstretch that one armhole a wee bit. Let me hold up the sleeves. You can see if I hold up the sleeves, there's a wee bit of a difference in length because this sleeve is unblocked, but the armhole is better in this one that's unblocked because look at the size difference at the armhole. Oh, nope, let me hold it up. There would be better. Flick it over there. It is a wee bit wider. So I think I need to wash it, give it all a wash, a soak, and then leave it to dry. Then I'll put that zip in. I know I've been delaying doing that because I thought I'll let you guys see it finished. Then I'll wash it and block it. Then I'll put the zip in. That's the bit I'm not looking forward to. I'm just so worried that it messes up this really neat edge, just attaching the zip. And I'm also wondering whether I should just do it with a sewing machine, just get the zip tacked into place and then run down it with a sewing machine to make it really nice, tight, small stitches. But then I'm worried how that affects the look of the front of the jumper. I keep calling it a jumper, but technically it's a cardigan because it zips all the way down the front. So maybe next time it will finally be all done and I can actually show you it in use. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Now the yarn that I used for that one was Rowan Pure Wool DK, and the original 14 balls I bought in a de-stash on eBay about a year ago, and this wee extra one, this was the remaining ball band. The wee extra one that I bought, I managed to find someone else doing a de-stash on eBay. It was actually a charity shop that I got this one wee ball from in the Highlands. But it was enough to do that inside, just to line the zip facing at the back. So it was lucky that I found that. And that is the progress on the Lanark sweater. I know I keep saying next time I make a video maybe it'll be finished, but I really am. I'm stalling with it. I really don't want to do that zip bit. I did say to him, can I not just put buttons on the front for you? And he's like, no, that one's going to my husband. and he's patiently waiting for it. And I mean patiently, very patiently waiting for it. The minute I finished knitting on that Lanark sweater, I cast on something new. I hadn't even stitched those flaps down to the back of the zip facing. They were still waiting to be sewn down, and I had something cast on before I even finished the sewn part. And it was using this yarn here. This is Sardar Snuggly. And although I said I cast it on right away, I have been very patient with this yarn. I bought this back in the middle of August. It was the day after my birthday. We went a wee trip through to Kirkcaldy. We were at Kirkcaldy and Falkland Palace. We were over in the East Coast. And there was a shop called Rejects that I'd been told about 3 years ago when I did a training course, a knitting training course. And I was wanting to go to this shop, and I've been wanting to go to it for 3 years, but finally got to it in August. And I saw this yarn here. Now this is Sardar Snuggly, and it's the super soft rainbow designs, and this colourway is 0850, and it's Jelly Bean. Now I bought 3 balls of this back in August to knit my granddaughter a cardigan, and it has been sitting waiting because I told myself don't cast it on till you finish the Lanark one. So it has been waiting, but the minute the knitting was finished on the Lanark, it got cast on. And here's what I've got so far. Just the back piece. I've knitted this little cardigan many times. My son had one, my daughter had one, my middle grandchild, my youngest grandson, he's had one in blue as well. And I just love these wee cardigans. It's a wee shawl collar that's on them. And I thought Amara needs one as well. The rest of them have had one. Well, Harley didn't get one actually. But maybe I could make him one now. I'm sure an almost 12-year-old would love to be jumping about in a wee knitted shawl collared cardigan that Granny made. So this is how it's knitting up. I was a wee bit worried because it's got a lot of texture on it and the big cables. I was worried about that. The wee flecks through it, the wee flecks of colour, because there's a kind of peachy colour, a pink and a lilac-y splodge through it. It's wee speckles. But it's actually okay, I think. It doesn't compete too much. For the main body of this garment, I'm using 4.5mm needles, and it's just ones that I had in my stash. I don't even think they've got a make on them. And it's 4mm for the rib at the bottom. And the pattern that I'm using comes from this book here. Now, this has been stained, it's been scribbled in, it's got torn pages, there's pages hanging out. It is so old, this book. I've had this since before I had my own kids, and my son's 31. It's a really old book, but it does have some lovely patterns inside. And this is the one that I'm knitting from now. I'm a wee bit concerned that I'm going to run out of yarn because I've only did the back piece and I don't have a lot of this yarn left, the first ball, and I only bought 3 of them. But if I start to run out, there is just a regular button band as well as the shawl collar design, so I'll just change it and I'll make it just a regular button band. I think she'll be fine with that. It doesn't seem that long ago that I was showing you the blue version that I made for Jaden, and that's when he was 2 and he's 5 now and at school. Scary how quickly time flies past, isn't it? Right, so that's that one. I've shown you that as well. As I say, I cast that on. I think it was about a week ago I cast that on, and it was the minute I finished knitting on the Lanark sweater. This one came out straight away. I was running about grabbing my wool and my needles and the pattern. I'm going, whoa, new project, new project. So that's one of my new cast-ons, and this is the other one. There's not a lot of knitting been started on this, but these socks are for my father-in-law. He likes to wear knitted socks to his bed to keep his wee feet warm while he sleeps, and I would like to knit him a festive pair that he can wear over the Christmas period. So there's a wee bit of hanging out the middle here, because I pull from the centre of the ball. But it's this one here. Is it Flotta Soccer? And this is the 6-ply version that I'm knitting his socks with, because this will knit up really quick. I did buy some of this earlier on this year, maybe a couple of months ago, but I bought the 4-ply. And then after knitting socks in October for my father-in-law's birthday, I thought, Do you know what, maybe he needs a wee festive, a wee Christmas pair as well. So I did buy another ball in 6ply just to do him some socks. Now, I had told myself, if you've not cast on these socks by the 16th of November, you have to just go get them cast on. So I have put the wee cardigan aside just now, and I'm trying to focus on these because I do want them done for the end of November so that you can wear them all over the festive period. But that's how it's knitting up so far. I'm not really using a pattern for this. It's just my Skoosh pattern, the Skoosh Toe Up pattern, and I'm using, although I'm on 3mm needles and it's 6ply yarn, I'm just following the stitch counts for the smallest sock. And if I follow those instructions, that gives me a nice size for a gents large in the 6ply. I would like to get these ones finished for the end of this month, or as close to the beginning of December as possible. And then I'll get back to that wee cardigan. I could do both of them at the one time, but if I get these finished first, it's something off the list, isn't it? Focus on one thing at a time, that's what I'm trying to do. But after casting those on, I then realised that I had a test knit starting on Monday, because I cast these on, was it Saturday? Yeah, it was Saturday afternoon I cast them on. And then on Sunday afternoon, I realised that I've got a test knit starting on Monday and I haven't knit the sock yet. So I had to cast that on Sunday. It didn't take me long to get this wee sock knit. This is it here. It still needs to be blocked. But this is the Lemon Sherbet socks cuff down. And this is currently with test knitters just now. But I do like to try and do the cuff down versions myself as well, just to see if there's anything in the pattern that I'm not happy with. It's easier to actually have a knitted version of it yourself, rather than just relying on the test knitters to do it. Well, I find it easier that way. So that I had to knit that up, and I did that on Sunday and Monday. So now that this is finished, I'm going to get back to those Christmas socks, and we'll talk more about that in the next section. The last time that I recorded an episode, I had some Halloween socks on the needles, and I haven't touched them since my last episode. I was really hoping to work on all those Halloween socks, just have a little knitmere before Christmas, a couple of weeks to myself, and finish the Halloween ones and get that done before the festive season started. But I haven't done it. So they will get finished, but I've put them aside in favour of the socks for my father-in-law and the cardigan for my granddaughter, and stalling on finishing the Lanark sweater. I'll get it done, I will, maybe. Do you think it'll be done for the end of the year? The rate I'm going, it'll be spring and he'll not need a nice warm jumper. But after showing you this one here, that leads quite nicely into the knit and designs section. Last Friday, I published my Coorie collection. Now this is all the socks, the 6 sock patterns that are released, but all the toe up versions. I've combined them into one collection, and it's the Coorie collection. That's what I was always planning on doing. It has taken me a wee while to get all those 6 patterns lumped together into one collection on Ravelry, but it is there now, and I'll put a wee link below if that's something that you're interested in. When the sock patterns were all released, when I released them one at a time, each of the 6 designs, there was a discount code for each of them, and that was still valid up until yesterday. But now that I've got them all in the one collection, I've taken away the discount, so you can buy them all together. The patterns are still available individually as well, but you can also buy them in a collection, all 6 together, and there's quite a generous discount on that. The idea behind it was there would be 5 sock patterns. I put the bundle up onto Ravelry, and the 6th pattern, the unicorn tail one, was just a bonus pattern. So I've priced it that you're paying for 5 patterns and you're getting one free. Okay? So, and there is a bit more of a discount as well on each individual sock pattern as well if you buy it as a bundle. So that is there just now. And as I said already, the cuff down versions are being test knitted just now. I've got 3 that have been released. This one's been test knit, and I've got another 2 to go, but they probably won't be test knit until after Christmas. But as soon as they're all done as well, if they've been tested and the patterns have been published, there will be one collection for that too. The next sock design to talk to you about is the textured Skoosh pattern. This is very similar to this sock here. This is the Skoosh Toe Up pattern, but this is a textured version. There's just a little bit of texture on it, and I will get that up onto Ravelry before this weekend. I'm hoping to have it on Friday. Friday will be the 22nd. And I'll share links with that later on where you can get that. But the way I'm hoping to do it is that if you've already got this pattern here, you've already got Skoosh Toe Up, you can get this one for free. But I don't know whether just to add it as a PDF into this pattern or create a different pattern on Ravelry and then link the two of them, put a promotion code on. I've still to decide what to do with that. Now I know there's probably a few out there thinking, oh, I don't like toe-up patterns. I've told you this already, Amanda, I prefer them cuffed down. Don't worry, I've got you. I'm going to cast on the cuff down version, get that started as soon as I can, and I'm hoping to have that there before Christmas. It'll be on Ravelry as well before Christmas. So if I do it with this Elm Tree Yarns, this yarn is called, and it is the Blackbird Nest I'll be using. I don't think Elm Tree Yarns dye yarn anymore, but I did find this in my stash and I thought I'm going to use this for the cuff down textured version. I really like that colourway. And it's also quite nice to be using something from your stash rather than going and buying something new. Okay, so that will be coming soon, and hopefully within the next 4 weeks, before Christmas anyway. Did I tell you this one here? This one here was knit using Mr. B yarns, and it's the colourway's Clara Peggotty, if anyone's interested in that. And I used 2.25mm needles to knit this sock here. I do have the two of them. They're both finished. Oh, there's a wee ball band there. Mr. B, and I think they've changed their name now. Their company name is Bird Street Yarns. This one was an old colourway, something they dyed a while ago. And again, this one came from my stash. It's really nice to use up some stash yarns. Last episode, I did let you have a wee look at this one. Now, I haven't worked on this one since my last episode. This was one of my Halloween colourways, and it's Home Sweet Haunted Home. And part of the reason that I haven't finished it is I just couldn't decide how long to make my leg. Do I make it a longer length sock that you would actually show on a knitting pattern, or do I keep it a shorter length leg, which I prefer? Do I do the cuff the same as the contrast on the heel and the toe, or do I just keep going with the stripes? And I just couldn't decide. I'm really bad for that just now. Anything that I have to make a decision on, or I'm not really sure what I'm doing, like with the zip and that Lanark sweater, I'll just kind of like put it aside. And the thing is, it's not getting put aside for a day or two while I think about it. The next thing, a few weeks have passed. Sometimes it can even be as long as a month or two, and I'm really terrible for stalling and things that I can't make a decision on that. And it's really, really silly, trivial things as well. Do any of the rest of you do that? I'm really bad for it. Anyway, this is a ripple sock pattern, and I would like to get this tested before I publish it. Now, I've knit this sock up a few times because I knit it a couple of years ago using a yarn from the Yarn Badger. It was a Christmas colourway called Santa's Rainbow, and I used it to knit. I managed to get a pair for both me and my daughter. I bought two of the contrasting mini skeins, and I did get a pair for me and a pair for my daughter, and I used this ripple pattern. I also then last year used my, what was it called? Was it a Yuletide colourway? I'll need to check what the colourway was called. And again, it was the Yarn Badger, and it was the festive yarn. And I did buy two mini skeins again, and I got two pair of socks. When I did the second pair, I actually added in some mohair. Now, you've seen these before, I have showed you them all before, but it is the ripple pattern that I used, even though it's now a DK weight, because I've added some mohair, and it did work in a DK version too. And the very first pair that I knitted, now this must have been 3 years ago, and I think this colourway is called Vintage Tinsel, and this is a West Yorkshire Spinners colourway. This is one of their Christmas colourways, and it was from, I think it was 3 years ago. And I did knit this up, but the difference with this one is I put the ripple pattern all the way around the leg. I haven't stopped on the back whereas this one here at the back is just stocking stitch at the back, and so is the Santa's Rainbow as well. But this one I made it all the way around the leg. So I really need to get this tested, and what I was thinking is maybe running a month-long knit-along, almost like a test knit-along. If anybody out there is interested in trying this out with their festive yarns, or if you've got some self-striping yarn, it doesn't have to be hand-dyed because it works on any self-striping yarn. Anything that you've got blocks of colour on, if it's a mishmash of colours like this one, you're not going to see the pattern very well. But it will work if you've got definite stripes in your yarn, okay? And it can be a commercial yarn, it can be a hand-dyed yarn, it can be something that you've come up with yourself, or maybe you just like 2 different colours. You've got 2 different colours in your stash that you could work maybe 4 rows of one colour, 4 rows of the next, and you could stripe it yourself. But I'm going to put a little test knit link up on my website. So if you go to shuttermonkeydesigns.com, and I'll link this all below, and if you would like to take part in that in the month of December, so maybe you've got some self-striping yarn, you've bought yourself an advent skein, you've got some West Yorkshire spinners or some Reggie or something lying about and you'd like to try it, you can fill in that wee test knit form. There will be 2 versions of the Ripple sock available to test knit. There's going to be a cuff down version and there will be a toe up version as well. So you can let me know which version you would like to knit. There will be 2 different links, so fill in whichever version you prefer, and also let me know what size you prefer, whether you like small, medium or large, okay? All the details will be over in shuttermonkeydesigns.com, and the links will be there to fill in the test knit forms. I do have a website and it just sits there static, it's not doing anything, I never really update it. I'm just going to have one page and I'm going to link all my test knit forms there, so if it's something that you're interested, even in the future, I'm going to keep updating that with any test knit information, and that's all that's going to be. It will just be one page with some test knit information, okay? Whew, I feel like that was a lot to tell you, and I'm worried that I've rushed through it now because I do talk quite fast sometimes, don't I? So what else have I been up to? Because that's all the crafting that I've done. What else have I been up to since I last recorded an episode? I did up my medication again, my anxiety medication. It was not pretty. The first time I tried to up it, it didn't agree with me. So the doctor, my GP, had told me, come back down for 2 weeks, let everything stabilise, and then we'll try upping it again, but only every second day. And it just didn't work. Doesn't agree with me at all, upping it. So back down to the level that I started on, and we'll take it from there. But I did go in and speak to one of the coaches at the gym that I go to. I'm a member of Curves in a local town, and I hadn't been there for about 6 weeks. From the beginning of September till I think about the middle of October, there was a 6.5 week period that I didn't go, just because I had the flu, and then just adjusting my medication didn't agree with me either, so I didn't really get out much over that 6 week period. And once I went back, it was one of the coaches there actually spoke to me to ask me how I was, and I think she knew I was struggling a wee bit. She could tell just for that 2-minute conversation. So she asked me did I want to do a check-in, and I got to sit down and speak to somebody, told them how I was feeling, everything that was going on. So they have suggested that I try to improve my gut health. So I'm working on that just now, and I have been fasting, only between 8 o'clock at night and 10 o'clock in the morning, which is something I never ever thought I would be able to do. And that's actually helped a lot with my digestive system and just settling down, just different things that's going on with my stomach as well. It's been actually really, really beneficial. And the other thing they're doing at the gym is they've started a couch to 5k. Now, running is something that I have always wanted to do and never been able to do it. I tried it in my 30s and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't breathe. I always ended up feeling really, really sick, really, really out of breath, and felt ill after trying to run. But I think even just over the past 5 years sorting I've had a few different inhalers, and I think the one I'm on just now is actually really, really working. And I just thought, you know what, go give it a go. So I signed up for it 2 weeks ago. Doesn't sound very rational, does it? Because see, when I think back to 2 weeks ago and how rotten I was feeling, and I signed up for a couch to 5k, and it's a 6-week course, so over the 6 weeks, hopefully I'll be running as close to 5k as I can. We've only done two weekly sessions, and we have to go out on our own and run at other points during the week. And I have kept up with it. And I can't believe how good I felt after that first run. I was buzzing the rest of the day. I must have released lots and lots of endorphins. And I think it was just the fact that I did manage to do it. Because I've tried it before and couldn't. Ended up feeling really, really unwell. Apart from running, speaking to the coaches at the gym, that was really good. I did go back to my GP for a checkup. It was a medication review actually. And she's agreed with me, work on your gut health and we'll leave the medication at the lower dose. So all's going well. So it's quite nice that your GP and the coaches at the gym are both saying the same thing and giving you advice. And they're all along the same lines, and there's not one of them pushing for to take more medication and the other side saying, oh no, just come off that medication, we'll help sort you out. So it was really nice that they're working together. And the only other thing that I've been doing is a wee bit of reading. And I know because I don't read much, but I have been reading more. I'm still working my way through my Patricia Cornwell books, and also read that book I told you about last time, It Ends With Us, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I've started this one. I only started this last night, only part of the way through, but it starts with us now, I'm on to, and it's Colleen Hoover, and it's really, really good. I did enjoy the first one, It Ends With Us. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. Right, let's move on to acquisitions. Let me slide them all over. Last week I had a few packages arrive, and it's Advent, they're all Advent related things. And I know I said I wasn't buying any Advent calendars, but well, the first one that arrived is this one, and it's the Cozy Knitter. And I have to be very careful, it just comes in a brown bag, but I've ripped a wee hole in the back. That was me trying to get it out of the cupboard this morning. It was sitting, waiting to be cast on, sitting in the yarn cupboard here, and I managed to rip it, taking it out, try to squeeze it through the door. So I don't want any of you to see it because it's staying in the bag until the 1st of December. I have got 2 little mini skeins. I'm hoping to get 2 pair of socks out of this, so I did buy 2 mini skeins, and it's just a natural undyed colourway. And these are all from the Cozy Knitter. They are a Canadian-based yarn dyer. So looking forward to casting those on. It's been a few years since I've had this advent calendar. I really enjoy taking part and using this yarn in a festive, just knitting that 1 stripe a day. But for a few years there she wasn't posting to the UK, so I couldn't get it. But now she's posting again to the UK. And next up, what one will I show you first? This one here. Right, a wee warning. If you have bought the Toft Advent Calendar and you don't want to see the bag that the little daily packages are in, look away now, okay? Because this is it. So that's the wee packaging, the sack that it came in, and inside there are lots of wee boxes. I'm not opening any of these just now. So we'll get quite a few of those bigger size boxes, and then there's the wee mini ones. So there's a wee box, either a small one or the big one for every day, the same as last year. And I know I've got no business buying another Toft Advent Calendar. How many unfinished Toft projects have I got? I couldn't resist. They're just so lovely, aren't they? Let's see if I get this one finished. Do you know, I bought the Toft Advent Calendar every year, apart from 1 year when it was the resplendent Quetzal. It was a brightly coloured bird. And that's the only year I didn't buy it. But I have bought it every other year. And I've finished most of them. So maybe 2025 will be the year I work in some of those whips. Either decide whether they need frogged or just finish them and give them away, rehome them somewhere else. But the other calendar that I bought was actually off at eBay. and it's a dandelion and dogwood advent calendar. Now, I did buy one of these earlier this year. When I said I wasn't buying any advent calendars, I bought one on eBay, and it was the 2023 one I bought earlier this year. But this one's the 2021 calendar, and this is how it looks on the inside. It is so lovely. All the 24 mini skeins are there. It's all sock weight yarn, 4-ply yarn. I think it's actually an 80-20 blend. There's 20% nylon, 80% superwash merino. And then there's the full skein there as well in the middle that's called Northern Lights. I think this calendar was called Christmas at the Cabin. And I'm really, really happy with that purchase. But I'm not going to lie, if I hadn't bought it when I did, if I'd left it a day or two, I wouldn't have bought it. After buying this, it was an impulse buy one Sunday morning. And after buying it, the next day I started cleaning out and organising my yarn. And I started with the full skeins of yarn. And I laid them all out in my island here in my room. And when I realised how much full skeins of yarn I had, either 50 grams or 100 gram sets, sock sets, or just full skeins, I was a wee bit shocked. I'm not going to lie. I think I had about 73, 74 full skeins. And I was pretty overwhelmed when I looked at it. So I put some of it on eBay. I had a good look through it all, and I did destash on eBay. The most of it has gone, but I still have to go through my advent calendars. I'm not getting rid of any of them, they're all staying. And I've also got to sort through all the mini skeins that I've got, because I've got quite a few mini skein collections, and I would really like to have a good clear out of those as well. So if I lay it all out on the table, all in the one go, almost like Sort Your Life Out style. I do like that programme with Stacey Solomon. I think it's easier to see when you see it all together how much you actually have. And once you can see what you actually have, it's easier to spot the ones that, look, I've not got any plans for you, I think you could go. So there's another wee destash coming up of the mini skeins. Hopefully get that done sometime this week as well. But I was quite shocked when I saw it all lying on the table. I told my husband that I was clearing out my yarn, and see when I laid it all out in here, and then I says to him, come and see it, he was just like, oh. And then when I had says, I'm going to get rid of 10% of this, he said, oh no, that's a bit much, just get rid of 3 or 4. And I'm like, no, I want more of that. I want at least 10 skeins to go. And I did manage to look out about 10 or 11, and I've put them on eBay. But now that I've had about a week to think about it, I think there's another maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 that I've not got any plans for. And there's only so many socks you can knit as well, and I don't really knit shawls anymore either. So I used to knit lots of hats, then I used to knit lots of shawls, and now I'm on to knitting socks. So there's only so many socks that you can make and even give to other people. I knew I had a lot of yarn. See when you put it all together, because I had some over in this cupboard here, I had some over in this cupboard here, I had some stored underneath my island, I had some stored in my computer desk, the more recent skeins that I've bought. And see when you actually bring it all together and you think, right, let's organise all of this, get it all catalogued as well. And I also cleared out my Ravelry stash as well, because there's a lot in my Ravelry stash that I no longer have. I've either traded it, sold it, used it up, and I did organise my Ravelry stash as well. But when I laid it, all the full skeins that I had, either full 100 gram skeins or the 50 gram skeins, when I put them all out on my table, I thought, oh my goodness. Now don't get me wrong, I've got 2 different hobbies. I am a crafter, and I'm also a collector. And I know that. I don't buy the yarn that I buy sometimes with the intention of making with it. It's just, I've got 2 different hobbies. I do collect. I'm a collector, and I am a crafter. So, but the collector side has got a little bit out of hand. So we're going to have to rein her in a little bit. So if it's something that you're interested in, you can keep checking out my eBay page, because I'm going to be having a wee clean out, I think, over the next few months anyway. Take one cupboard at a time. That really is all I have to share with you today. If there's anything that you're interested in that I've talked about today, pattern links or yarn links, I will list everything in the box below. But the next time I do a video will be a couple of weeks from now, and we'll be into December already. I'm finding it hard to believe that we're almost at the end of 2024. I just feel like this year has gone by so quickly. It's quite scary how quickly it's gone in. I hope you've got some fun festive plans for crafting and you're looking forward to the festive season as well. And I will see you all again soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.